You know that feeling when you're trying a new recipe and you just start, like, throwing ingredients in, hoping it turns out?
Yeah, I do.
That's what digital marketing can feel like sometimes,
Yeah,
right? A bit chaotic.
definitely. Guesswork mostly.
But what if you had a clear, step-by-step guide to actually see some, real growth online?
Well, that's exactly what we're trying to focus on for you today. You're
Yeah.
looking for a way to cut through all the noise and just get the essential information right.
Yes, please.
And that's precisely what the deep dive is all about. We take a whole load of material and sort of pull out the crucial insights you need.
And today, we're diving deep into Digital Marketing All-in-One for Dummies by Stephanie Diamond. It's a really comprehensive book, quite hefty, actually.
It is. It promises to unlock the secrets to succeeding in the digital world.
So think of us as your guides, maybe helping you navigate what's most important in all that information.
Yeah, exactly. Our goal for this deep dive is very specific. We want to uncover what we're calling the 7 secrets to explosive digital growth.
Ooh, secrets.
Well, yeah, but these aren't just abstract ideas. They're practical insights you can start thinking about and, well, maybe applying right away.
Absolutely. We've taken the core ideas from this book and kind of broken them down into 7 key areas that are really fundamental to achieving success online.
The building blocks.
Exactly. We're going to explore each one, explaining not just what they are, but why they're so important and how they can make a real difference for you. So get ready, because
Yeah.
we're covering some crucial ground.
Okay, lay them out for us.
Okay. First, we'll look at crafting your winning digital strategy. Super important.
The foundation.
Then we'll move on to mastering the customer connection,
Knowing your audience.
followed by the power of perfect content. Content is king, right?
Or queen, yeah.
After that, we'll explore reaching the influential generation. Think millennials.
Crucial demographic.
Then, harnessing the power of promotion channels, getting the word out.
Can't just create content, gotta promote it.
Our 6th secret is the influencer advantage.
Leveraging others' audiences.
And finally, we'll wrap up with data-driven dominance, using those numbers.
Gotta measure to improve.
7 key areas packed with insights to help you grow.
That's hams. Think of this as building the essential framework for your digital marketing efforts. Let's start with that very first secret, the strategy.
Okay, let's really unpack this first one. Crafting your winning digital strategy. It might seem like, common sense,
You'd think so.
but it's actually surprising how often businesses just jump straight into tactics without this crucial foundation. The book really emphasizes that your digital strategy is like having a map before you set out on a long journey online.
That's a really helpful way to think about it. Without a strategy, you're essentially navigating without a compass. A well-defined plan provides that essential direction and clarity.
Right. For you, the listener, having this roadmap with clear objectives, knowing what you actually want to achieve online, and really understanding who you're trying to reach. Plus, figuring out which online channels are the right ones to focus on. Well, it means you won't feel lost in the seemingly endless possibilities of the internet. It brings a much-needed sense of control.
And that clarity directly leads to efficiency. That's a big one.
How so?
Well, when you have a clear destination in mind, you can allocate your resources, both your time and your budget, much more effectively.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's something everyone trying to grow their business appreciates, right? No more spending on things that don't actually move you closer to your goals.
Exactly. And maybe most importantly, a solid strategy allows for measurability.
Yes, knowing if it works.
Right. You define your objectives and your KPIs, those key performance indicators, right from the start.
Okay, break down KPIs quickly.
Sure. So when we say KPIs, these are just the specific numbers or metrics you'll track to see if you're actually making progress, like website visits or leads or sales.
Got it.
This means you can see what's working and what isn't, giving you real confidence that your efforts are actually paying off.
Now, let's consider the other side of the coin. What are some of the potential downsides for you, the listener, if you don't take the time to build this strategic foundation?
Well, the book paints a pretty clear picture. Without a strategy, your marketing efforts can become really scattered, just all over the place.
Yeah, random acts of marketing?
Totally. You might be posting on social media one day because you think you should, running a random ad campaign the next because someone suggested it, without any real connection between all those activities.
Right.
This can lead to your brand feeling inconsistent and, honestly, a lot of missed opportunities to build a cohesive online presence.
It's a bit like trying to conduct an orchestra without a score, isn't it?
That's a great analogy.
Individual instruments might play well, but the overall harmony, the impact, is just missing. And as we touched on with budget, a lack of planning almost always leads to wasted resources.
Oh, definitely.
You might invest in social media platforms where your ideal customers aren't even active, or run ad campaigns with messaging that just doesn't resonate, throwing money away.
And for anyone trying to grow their business online, wasting money is a huge concern. Plus, without a clear strategy, it becomes really difficult to actually measure your results.
So you're flying blind.
Pretty much. You're left with this feeling of uncertainty. You don't really know what's driving any success you might see, or if your efforts are truly making a difference. That makes it almost impossible to learn and improve over time.
Okay, so the negative side is clear. Disorganization, waste, uncertainty. Not good.
Not good at all.
So the book offers some insightful examples of U.S. companies that have really nailed this strategic element. Let's maybe talk about Nike.
Nike's omnichannel approach.
Yes.
This is a really fantastic example of a winning digital strategy in action.
Explain omnichannel quickly.
Right. So when we say omnichannel, it essentially means they've created a seamless and consistent brand experience across all the different ways a customer might interact with them.
Like
Their online store, their mobile apps, their social media, even their physical retail locations. They all work together smoothly.
What's particularly insightful about Nike's approach, I think, is their unified customer data platform. That sounds techy, but it lets them track customer interactions across all these touch points, which means they can create personalized experiences regardless of whether you're browsing on your computer or, walking into one of their stores. Their messaging, their branding, it all stays consistent. That builds a really strong brand identity.
Very powerful. Okay, then there's Starbucks. Their mobile app is pretty central, isn't it?
Totally. Their really smart focus is on enhancing customer experience through that app.
It's not just a way to pay for your coffee, right?
No, not at all. It's for ordering ahead so you can skip the line, which everyone loves.
Guilty?
Earning loyalty rewards that keep you coming back, and getting personalized offers based on what you usually buy.
So their entire digital strategy seems built around making things super convenient and rewarding for customers.
And it's incredibly effective. It removes those little points of friction in buying stuff and adds real tangible value for the customer. That encourages repeat business and builds that loyal base.
Makes sense. And we can't forget HubSpot. Their strategy is different again.
Yeah, HubSpot and their really smart content-first strategy, they've essentially built their entire business on the idea of attracting customers by creating incredibly valuable content.
What kind of content?
Things like blog posts that answer common questions people have, really in-depth ebooks that solve specific problems, engaging webinars, that sort of thing.
And it's all planned out.
Oh, yeah. All of this content is carefully aligned with the different stages a potential customer goes through on their journey to making a purchase. It's very strategic.
Right, guiding them along.
What's key with HubSpot is that their content isn't just created randomly. It's strategically designed to attract the right people who are looking for solutions in their industry. And then it guides them through their sales process by providing helpful information at every single step.
I've heard they use something called a pillar page strategy.
They do. That's where they create these really comprehensive guides on core topics like, say, email marketing. And then they link out from that main page to more specific related content, like blog posts on subject lines or list building. It creates a really valuable resource hub for their audience.
Okay, so Nike integrates everything. Starbucks focuses on mobile convenience. HubSpot leads with value through content. 3 strong different strategies.
Exactly. Now, on the flip side, the book points out some common mistakes that competitors make when they don't have this strong underlying strategy.
Let's hear them. What not to do.
Okay, think about maybe a sporting goods retailer trying to copy Nike, but just posting generic updates about their latest products on social media. No real connection to their online store, no consistent brand message across all their channels. They're missing that integrated omni-channel approach that Nike has mastered.
So what's the impact?
Well, they might get some likes and comments, sure, but it won't have the same impact as Nike's seamless integration, which doesn't just raise brand awareness, but also directly drive sales, both online and offline.
Got it. What about a Starbucks competitor?
Okay, consider a local coffee shop chain trying to compete with Starbucks but not having a really user-friendly mobile ordering system.
Ah, the convenience factor again.
Exactly. They're missing out on a huge driver of Starbucks' business, the convenience of ordering ahead and having your drink ready when you arrive. That's tangible consequence of not adapting to how customers expect to interact with businesses today.
It really highlights how convenience has become such a major differentiator in the digital age, hasn't it?
Absolutely. Customers expect a smooth and easy experience. They don't have patience for friction.
And finally, let's compare with HubSpot. What's a common mistake there?
Okay, think about a business-to-business or B2B software company trying to attract leads like HubSpot does.
Right.
But all they do is talk about their product features, feature, without offering any real educational content that actually helps their potential customers solve their problems first.
So they're just selling, not helping.
Precisely. They'll likely struggle to attract qualified leads because they're not providing any upfront value. They're missing that crucial element of building trust and establishing themselves as experts by helping their audience understand their challenges and potential solutions before asking for the sale.
Okay, that makes the importance of strategy really clear. So what does this all mean for you, the listener? How can you take this principle of crafting a winning digital strategy and actually apply it to your own business?
Well, it really starts with clearly defining your core business goals. What do you actually want to achieve through your online efforts?
Like what?
Is it to build more brand awareness so more people just know about you? Is it to generate leads for your sales team to follow up on? Or is it to drive direct sales right there through your website? You need that focus first.
Got it. Goals first, then what?
Once you have that clarity on your overarching goals, the next step is to really understand your target audience. Who are the ideal customers you're trying to reach?
Okay.
What are their specific needs, their pain points? Where do they spend their time online? What kind of information are they actually looking for? You need to dig deep.
Then, based on your audience and your goals, you need to strategically choose the right online channels to focus on.
Right, you can't be everywhere.
Exactly. Are your ideal customers highly active on Instagram? Are they more likely to be searching for solutions on Google using SEO? Do they prefer to get information through email newsletters or, like HubSpot, in-depth blog content? You need to be intentional about where you invest your time and resources.
And importantly, as we touched on earlier, you need to set measurable KPIs. How will you actually know if your strategy is working?
Right, the proof.
What specific metrics will you track? Things like website visits, the number of people who fill out a contact form, your conversion rates from website visitors to customers?
Did you give an example?
Sure. If your primary goal is, say, brand awareness, you might focus on metrics like social media reach and engagement, maybe website traffic volume.
Okay.
But if lead generation is key for you, then you'd track things like form submissions, maybe the number of ebook downloads, things like that, specific to the goal.
Makes sense. Anything else?
Yes, and this is crucial. It's remembering that your digital strategy isn't something you create once and then just, forget about.
Set and forget it.
Nope. Definitely not. You need to regularly review your performance data, those KPIs, and be willing to refine and adjust your strategy based on what you're seeing. The digital landscape is constantly changing, so your strategy needs to be flexible and adaptable.
So it's an ongoing process.
Exactly. It's a continuous cycle of learning, testing, and optimization, always tweaking.
Okay, our first secret is unlocked. Have a winning digital strategy.
Very clear. Let's move on to the second key to explosive digital growth. Mastering the customer connection. This is where things get really interesting, I think. We move beyond just having a plan to actually understanding and deeply engaging with the people you're trying to reach.
Absolutely. The book really emphasizes that truly understanding and connecting with your customers is absolutely central to any business success. And maybe even more critical in the digital world where you might not have those direct face-to-face interactions, right?
Definitely. The core idea here is using the data you collect, developing detailed buyer personas.
Okay. What are buyer personas again?
They're like fictional but detailed representations of your ideal customers, thinking about who they are, what motivates them, their challenges.
Got it. So data, personas.
And really understanding the entire journey a customer takes when interacting with your brand, from start to finish.
And the benefits of really mastering this customer connection, they're significant for you, the listener, right?
Oh, hugely. When you deeply understand your customers, you can tailor your marketing messages and the content you create to really resonate with them.
So it feels relevant.
Exactly. This increases engagement, meaning they're more likely to pay attention to what you're saying, and ultimately it drives higher conversion rates, turning those interested people into actual customers.
It's about making your marketing feel relevant and, I guess, personal to each individual.
Precisely. Furthermore, when you understand the customer journey, all the different touch points they have with your brand, from their first awareness right through to becoming a loyal customer,
Hmm.
you can optimize those interactions to create a much smoother and more satisfying experience overall. And this, in turn, builds stronger customer loyalty and encourages them to keep coming back.
And let's not forget the growth opportunities that come from that understanding.
Right. When you truly understand your customers' needs and preferences, you'll often uncover opportunities to maybe upsell them to higher value products or services.
Increasing customer value.
Exactly. And you're also much more likely to turn them into enthusiastic brand advocates, people who will spread the word about your business to others. Free marketing.
The best kind. Okay, so lots of upsides. Now, what are the potential downsides if you don't make that effort to really master the customer connection?
Well, the most immediate consequence is probably irrelevant marketing.
Meaning,
Meaning, if you don't understand who you're talking to, your messages are likely to just fall flat. They won't address their specific needs or interests, and you'll end up wasting a lot of effort trying to reach people who just aren't the right fit anyway.
okay, wasted effort. What else?
And a poor understanding of the customer journey inevitably leads to frustration for the customer.
How so?
Well, if there are pain points or friction at any stage of their interaction with your brand, maybe it's navigating your website, maybe trying to get customer support, or even the experience after they've made a purchase, you risk losing those customers completely. They just give up.
Right, they drop off.
Exactly. And ultimately, you'll miss out on significant growth opportunities. Failing to really understand customer behavior and their preferences means you're not capitalizing on chances to strengthen those relationships, encourage repeat purchases, or turn those satisfied customers into promoters for your business.
So irrelevance, frustration, and lost growth. Got it.
The book highlights some U.S. companies that are exceptionally good at mastering this customer connection. Amazon, for example, is a classic.
Amazon's personalization engine is really quite remarkable, isn't it?
It really is. They use the vast amounts of data they collect on your past purchase history, what you've been browsing, even the product reviews you've looked at,
Yeah.
to provide incredibly tailored recommendations, product suggestions, and marketing emails. It often feels like they really understand your individual interests, almost spookily sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
What's fascinating here is just the sheer scale at which they personalize the experience for literally millions and millions of customers. It's a powerful demonstration of what you can achieve with effective data analysis.
Okay, Amazon's a giant. What about Netflix?
Netflix, another great example. Their incredibly effective content recommendation system.
How did that work?
Well, they analyze your viewing habits, what kinds of shows and movies you watch, what you finish, what you skip, how long you watch,
Right.
to suggest other content they think you'll enjoy. This highly personalized experience is a huge driver of customer retention. You keep paying your subscription because they keep finding things you actually want to watch.
So it's using data not just for marketing, but to actually improve the product itself.
Exactly. To enhance the core value proposition of their service and keep users engaged month after month.
Smart. And you mentioned Salesforce earlier.
Right, Salesforce. We can't overlook their focus on customer relationship management or CRM.
What's the key takeaway there?
Their platform provides businesses with the tools to collect, organize, and analyze all their customer data from every interaction all in one place.
So it brings it all together.
Precisely. This gives businesses a really comprehensive sort of 360-degree view of each customer, enabling much more personalized and effective communication and service down the line. It's about centralizing all that valuable customer information so you can then use those insights to build stronger relationships and provide better support.
Okay, Amazon, Netflix, Salesforce, all using data to connect better. Now, let's look at some mistakes competitors make in this area.
Right. Think about an e-commerce business trying to emulate Amazon, but just sending out the same generic promotional emails to their entire subscriber list.
The batch and blast approach.
Exactly. Regardless of what those subscribers have previously bought or even shown any interest in, the difference in effectiveness compared to Amazon is stark.
How so?
Well, those generic emails are likely to be ignored, maybe deleted, or even marked as spam, while Amazon's personalized recommendations often lead directly to additional purchases. Big difference.
Okay. What about a Netflix competitor?
Consider a streaming service trying to compete with Netflix, but with a very basic recommendation engine. Maybe it just suggests the most popular titles overall, or completely random content without any real understanding of what individual users actually prefer to watch. The user experience is night and day compared to Netflix.
So users are less likely to stick around.
Much less likely. Users are much more likely to stick with a service that consistently surfaces content they find relevant and enjoyable. It feels like the service gets them.
And the Salesforce comparison. What's a mistake there?
Okay, think about a business that doesn't use a CRM system. Maybe all its customer data is scattered across multiple spreadsheets, different email inboxes, various software platforms. Just a mess.
Siloed information.
Right. So when a customer contacts them with an issue, the support person struggles to get a complete picture of that customer's history with the company. This leads to inconsistent service, maybe asking the same questions over and over, potentially very frustrating service for the customer.
Yeah, I've experienced that. It really highlights the inefficiency and the negative impact on customer satisfaction when you don't have that unified view of your customer interactions.
Definitely.
So how can you, the listener, apply this principle of mastering customer connection to your own business? Where do you start?
It really starts with actively collecting and then carefully analyzing the data you have on your customers.
Somewhere.
From all the different places you interact with them, your website analytics, your social media insights, any CRM system you might be using, even feedback you get directly through customer surveys or reviews.
Okay, collect the data. Then what?
And don't just collect the data, really take the time to understand it. Look for patterns, look for trends, look for valuable insights into your customers' behavior, their preferences, and their needs. What's the story the data is telling you?
Then take that information and develop those detailed buyer personas we talked about.
Right. As we mentioned, these are like fictional representations of your ideal customers, but go beyond just basic demographics like age and location. Think about their motivations, their specific pain points. What are their goals? What are their online habits? Build a rich picture.
Next, the book suggests mapping out the entire customer journey.
Yes. Try to think about every single touch point a customer has with your brand, starting from when they first become aware of you, all the way through the consideration phase, the purchase, and even post-purchase, becoming a loyal, repeat customer.
And why map it?
To identify areas along that journey where you can potentially improve their experience. Where are the friction points? Where can you add more value?
And finally, use all of this understanding, the data, the personas, the journey map to personalize your content, the offers you make, and the overall experience you provide.
Tailor your marketing messages to speak directly to the specific needs and interests of different segments of your customer base. Don't treat everyone the same if they have different needs.
Can you give an example?
Sure. If your data shows that a particular segment of your audience is really concerned about a specific problem your product solves, you can then create content, blog posts, videos, whatever, that directly addresses that pain point and clearly highlights how you can help solve it for them.
Exactly. It's about making your customers feel truly understood and valued by your business. That builds connection. Now let's move on to our third key to explosive digital growth, the power of perfect content.
Content often described as the very foundation, the bedrock of successful digital marketing. This section really emphasizes that in the online world, creating high quality and genuinely valuable content is absolutely essential if you want to attract, engage, and ultimately convert your target audience.
That's absolutely right. The book really positions content as being king or queen, as you said, in the digital age. It's not just about having a website or a social media profile. It's really about what you put on those platforms and what you actually share with the world. The substance matters.
The core idea here is to really focus on creating content that is not only high quality, but also genuinely valuable and crucially relevant to the specific needs and interests of your target audience.
And the benefits of doing this well are really clear for you, the listener.
Definitely. When you create content that people find helpful or informative or maybe just entertaining, it naturally draws in individuals who are genuinely interested in what you have to offer. It's like, you know, attracting the right kind of visitors to your digital front door, not just random traffic.
And consistently providing content that is helpful and insightful does something really powerful for your brand over time, doesn't it?
It really does. It builds trust. It establishes you as an authority, an expert in your particular industry or niche. People start to see you as a reliable source of information and a leader in your field.
And ultimately, that engaging and valuable content helps guide potential customers through their decision-making process. Well, it answers their questions, it addresses any concerns they might have, and it builds a sense of loyalty and connection, which eventually leads to more sales and stronger, longer-lasting customer relationships. It nurtures them along.
Okay, so attraction, authority, conversion, big benefits. Now, what are some of the potential downsides if you neglect the power of creating, let's call it perfect content?
Well, the most immediate consequence is likely to be just low engagement. Simple as that.
Meaning people just ignore it?
Pretty much. If your content is poor quality, if it's irrelevant to your audience or just plain boring, people simply won't pay attention. You'll likely see low numbers of likes, shares, comments, all those indicators that people are actually connecting with what you're putting out there will be missing.
And it can get worse than just being ignored, right?
Oh yeah. Creating low quality or, even worse, inaccurate content can actually damage your brand's reputation quite significantly. It erodes the trust that your audience has in you, and that can be really difficult to rebuild once it's gone.
Definitely. Trust is hard won, easily lost.
And if your content isn't strategically aligned with the different stages of the buyer's journey, if you're not providing the right kind of information at the right time, you'll miss crucial opportunities to nurture potential leads and ultimately guide them towards becoming paying customers. You might attract them initially, but then fail to convert them.
Right. The content needs purpose at each stage. Okay, the book provides some really excellent examples of U.S. companies that have truly mastered the power of content marketing. Let's start with Red Bull. They're interesting.
Red Bull is a fantastic example because they don't just sell energy drinks, do they?
Not really, no. That's secondary almost.
They've really built their entire brand around creating and distributing incredible content related to extreme sports, adventure, music, all sorts of high-energy stuff. Think high-quality videos, engaging documentaries, coverage of live events. It's all incredibly compelling and resonates perfectly with their target demographic.
What's really brilliant about their content strategy, I think, is that it's not overtly promotional. It's not constantly saying, buy Red Bull. It's much more about building a lifestyle and a strong community around the Red Bull brand. The product placement feels very natural, almost incidental within that context.
Very clever. Okay. Who else? Neil Patel comes up a lot.
Yes, Neil Patel, a name that's really become synonymous with digital marketing expertise online.
What's his approach?
He consistently puts out a massive amount of incredibly valuable, free content, really in-depth blog posts, very informative videos, engaging podcasts, all focused on helping people succeed in the digital space. This consistent creation of high-quality content has really positioned him as a leading expert in the field. People trust him.
And that consistency is key, isn't it?
Absolutely. His consistent delivery of actionable advice and in-depth insights has built him a massive and incredibly loyal following. It's a prime example of how consistently providing real value can attract and retain a large audience over the long term.
Okay, and maybe one more example, GE. That seems different.
General Electric, or GE.
Right.
They operate in a very different industrial technology, B2B mainly. But they also clearly understand the power of content marketing. They produce insightful content like detailed blog posts and really specific case studies that showcase their deep expertise and their innovative solutions. And this content is specifically targeted at business buyers within their complex industries.
So it really demonstrates that content marketing isn't just for consumer-facing businesses.
Exactly. Even in a heavy B2B context, providing valuable industry-specific insights can significantly position you as a thought leader and attract the right kind of high-value clients. It builds credibility.
Okay, Red Bull, Neil Patel, GE, great examples. Now, what are some of the common mistakes that competitors make when they don't really embrace this power of perfect content?
Okay, consider an energy drink competitor trying to go head-to-head with Red Bull, but solely focusing on just pushing product features and running basic promotional campaigns without creating any of that engaging lifestyle content that Red Bull is famous for. Just, our drink has X and Y.
What's the likely outcome?
They'll likely struggle to build the same level of deep brand loyalty and that strong emotional connection that Red Bull has so successfully cultivated through its rich and engaging content ecosystem. They're just another drink.
Right. What about a competitor to Neil Patel?
Okay, think about a digital marketing consultant trying to compete with someone like Neil Patel, but maybe only posting very superficial, surface level blog articles every now and then, inconsistently.
Uh,
They simply won't be able to establish the same level of authority or attract the same consistent, engaged audience as someone who's regularly delivering high quality, actionable, in depth information.
so consistency and depth are really key.
Absolutely. Sporadic and shallow content just doesn't cut it in today's very crowded online environment. You have to earn attention with value.
And the GE comparison,
Yeah.
a mistake in B2B content.
Right. Imagine an industrial equipment manufacturer trying to reach business buyers, much like GE does, but they don't create any content that really demonstrates their deep industry knowledge or directly addresses the specific challenges that their potential customers are actually facing day to day.
So they're not seen as helpful.
Exactly. They're missing a huge opportunity to build trust and position themselves as true problem solvers within their industry. They just look like another supplier, not a partner.
Okay, the contrast is clear.
Yeah.
So how can you, the listener, really harness this power of perfect content for your own business? What are the action steps?
It all starts with developing a well-thought-out content plan. And this plan needs to be closely aligned with your overall digital strategy and those buyer personas you've created.
So it connects back.
Always connects back. Ask yourself, what are the key questions my ideal customers are asking? What specific problems are they actively trying to solve right now? Your content should answer those questions and solve those problems.
Then you need to relentlessly focus on creating high quality, valuable, and truly relevant content that directly addresses those needs at the different stages of their customer journey. Quality over just quantity.
Definitely. And don't be afraid to really diversify the formats of your content. Think beyond just traditional blog posts.
Like what?
Could you also create informative videos, engaging infographics, maybe host a podcast like this one, develop helpful ebooks or white papers? Remember, different people prefer to consume information in different ways. Meet them where they are.
And always remember to tell compelling stories.
Ah, storytelling. Yes. People connect with narratives on a much deeper emotional level than just dry facts. Think creatively about how you can weave storytelling into your content to make it more memorable and impactful.
And finally, don't ever forget about discoverability. SEO matters.
Hugely important. Make sure you optimize your content for search engines so that people who are actively looking online for information on the topics you cover can actually find you easily. Otherwise, great content goes unseen.
Can you give a quick example?
Sure. Let's say you run a local dog training business. Your content plan might include blog posts on common dog behavior issues like barking or leash pulling.
Okay.
Maybe some short videos demonstrating effective training techniques. Perhaps even a downloadable ebook on the crucial steps for puppy socialization. And all of it would be carefully optimized with relevant keywords that potential customers in your area might be searching for, like dog trainer near me, or how to stop puppy biting.
Got it. So it's specific, valuable, multi-format, and findable.
Exactly. It's about consistently providing real value that not only attracts but also genuinely engages and ultimately converts your target audience. Now, let's move on to our fourth key to explosive digital growth: reaching the influential generation.
Right. This section delves into the really critical importance of understanding and effectively engaging with millennials. This is a demographic that wields significant influence in today's digital world and, importantly, holds considerable purchasing power. That's right. The book really emphasizes that for achieving long-term digital marketing success, you absolutely need to understand how to connect with this generation. They have very distinct preferences for how they like to consume information and how they choose to interact with different brands online.
The core idea here is to really recognize their unique mindset and then tailor your marketing approach to genuinely align with their specific values and, crucially, their preferred online communication channels. You can't just treat them like every other demographic.
And the potential benefits of successfully reaching millennials are really substantial for you, the listener.
Oh, yeah. First off, they represent a huge consumer group with significant purchasing power, not just now, but increasingly in the future as they progress in their career.
And they influence others too, right?
They do. Plus, they also often act as influencers themselves within their own networks, impacting the purchasing decisions of their peers and family. Their opinions carry weight.
And if you can engage them in an authentic way,
You can build incredibly strong brand loyalty that can last for many, many years. They tend to appreciate brands that genuinely seem to understand them and whose values align with their own. They value authenticity.
And let's not forget that millennials are true digital natives.
Absolutely. They are incredibly comfortable with technology and are actively engaged across a wide variety of online platforms, making them a really prime target for well-executed digital marketing efforts. They live online, basically.
Okay, so big audience, potential for loyalty, digitally savvy, makes sense to reach them. Now, what are some of the potential consequences if you don't make a real effort to reach your millennial audience effectively?
Well, the most significant consequence is simply missing out on a really massive market segment. You're potentially overlooking a large portion of your current customer base and definitely a significant part of your future customer base if you choose to ignore this demographic. It's just bad business math.
And your brand image can suffer too.
Definitely. If you don't adapt your marketing messages and the specific online channels you use to reach them, your brand can quickly start to appear outdated, out of touch, and ultimately irrelevant to this younger, influential audience. Millennials are generally very good at spotting inauthenticity or brands that feel old.
And ultimately, companies that don't effectively engage with millennials may find themselves experiencing slower growth.
Yeah, and potentially falling behind their competitors who are successfully building connections with this influential generation. It's a competitive disadvantage not to engage them.
Okay, the stakes are high. The book highlights some U.S. companies that have done a particularly good job of effectively reaching millennials. Airbnb, for example, comes to mind.
Right. Airbnb has really successfully tapped into the millennial desire for authentic and often shareable, Instagrammable experiences.
How so?
They market themselves around these unique travel opportunities, not just the basic accommodation itself. Yeah. It's really about the story, the adventure, the local flavor that the stay enables, rather than just, a bed in a room.
Their strong focus on providing unique experiences rather than just traditional hotel-style amenities, really resonates with the millennial mindset, doesn't it?
It does. That mindset often values experiences over material possessions. Airbnb gets that.
Then there's Glossier, the beauty brand. They seem to have built a cult following.
They really have. Glossier has built a very large and very engaged following primarily through its community-driven marketing approach, particularly on platforms like Instagram.
What does community-driven mean here?
They've really fostered a strong sense of belonging among their customers. They encourage interaction, user-generated content, and even a level of co-creation with their millennial customers online. It feels collaborative.
Their authentic engagement with their online community is widely recognized as a key factor in their rapid success, right?
Absolutely. It often feels more like a genuine conversation between friends and less like a one-way marketing broadcast from a corporation. Very different feel.
And we also have Chipotle. How do they connect?
Chipotle often incorporates messaging about things like sustainability and ethical sourcing into its overall brand communication.
And why does that work with millennials?
Because it directly appeals to the social awareness and the values like environmental responsibility and ethical practices that are often very important to the millennial generation. By authentically aligning their brand messaging with these values, they've been able to build a much stronger connection with their millennial customer base.
Okay, Airbnb with experiences, Glossier with community, Chipotle with values. Got it. Now, what are some of the common mistakes that competitors make when it comes to trying to engage with millennials?
Okay, think about a more traditional hotel chain that's still primarily relying on standard advertising, maybe showcasing typical room amenities.
Yeah.
Without really emphasizing those unique and local experiences that Airbnb highlights so well, just showing pictures of the lobby or the bed.
What's the likely result?
They're likely to miss the mark with millennials who are often looking for something much more enriching and memorable than just a generic place to sleep during their travels. It doesn't excite them.
Okay. What about a Glossier competitor?
Consider a beauty brand that's solely focused on heavily promoting its products with very brand-centric communication. Just buy our stuff. Without actively engaging its online community or really fostering that sense of belonging and co-creation that Glossier has so successfully created.
And the impact.
It can often come across as inauthentic, maybe even pushy. And it fails to build that same level of enthusiastic and loyal following that brands like Glossier have achieved through genuine interaction.
And the Chipotle comparison. A mistake there.
Right. Think about a fast food chain that completely ignores ethical or environmental concerns in its marketing messages. Doesn't talk about where its food comes from or its impact.
Yeah.
They might find it increasingly difficult to connect with socially conscious millennials compared to a brand like Chipotle that actively addresses these values and makes them part of their story.
It really underscores the importance of understanding what truly matters to this generation and reflecting those priorities in your brand's communication and, importantly, its actions.
Walk the talk. Exactly.
So how can you, the listener, effectively reach your millennial audience? What are the key takeaways?
It really starts with taking the time to genuinely understand their specific mindset and core values. Remember, they often place a high value on authenticity, unique experiences, and making a positive social impact. Understand what drives them.
Then you absolutely need to meet them where they are most active online.
Where's that usually?
Focus your efforts on the social media platforms and digital channels they use most frequently. Think Instagram, YouTube, TikTok is huge now, and definitely keep an eye on any emerging platforms that are gaining popularity within this demographic. Be where they are.
And embrace the power of user-generated content, or UGC.
Why is UGC so important for millennials?
Because millennials often trust recommendations and experiences shared by their peers, real people, much more than they trust traditional advertising coming from the brand itself. So actively encourage them to share their own experiences with your brand online. Feature their content.
And always strive to be transparent and authentic in all of your communication.
Yeah, avoid that overly polished or corporate-sounding messaging that can often be perceived as inauthentic or trying too hard. Be real.
And finally, don't underestimate the significant power of influencer marketing when it comes to effectively reaching this generation.
Right. Look for opportunities to partner with creators whose content genuinely resonates with millennial audiences, and importantly, whose values align with those of your brand. It has to feel like a natural fit.
Can you give an example of a good fit?
Sure. A sustainable fashion brand, for example, could see great success by collaborating with a millennial lifestyle blogger who actively advocates for ethical consumption and eco-friendly practices in their own content. The alignment makes the partnership credible.
Exactly. It's all about building genuine connections and aligning your brand with the values that are important to them. Now let's move on to our fifth key to explosive digital growth, harnessing the power of promotion channels.
Right. This section really emphasizes a crucial point. Even if you create the most brilliant and valuable content imaginable, it needs effective distribution promotion to actually reach its intended audience and ultimately help you achieve your marketing goals. Content alone isn't enough.
That's absolutely right. You can create the most amazing blog post, the most captivating video, or the most informative infographic. But if nobody actually sees it, it's not going to do much good for your business, is it?
Not really, no. It's like shouting into the void. This section explores the various digital marketing channels that are available and provides insights on how to use them strategically and effectively to get your message out there.
The core idea is to strategically leverage a diverse mix of online avenues.
Not just one or two.
Right. A mix to connect with a greater number of people, to precisely target specific demographics based on their interests and behaviors, and ultimately to significantly increase your brand's overall visibility in the digital landscape. Be seen in the right places.
And the benefits of effectively harnessing these different promotion channels are really significant for you, the listener.
Like what?
Well, obviously, by establishing a presence across a variety of relevant online spaces, you can reach a much wider audience than you could if you were only focusing on, say, just your website or just one social media platform, broader reach.
And different digital channels offer the advantage of more targeted engagement.
Right, exactly. You can often reach very specific demographics and individuals with particular interests on the platforms they frequent the most. Think Facebook ads targeting or LinkedIn targeting. This makes your marketing efforts much more efficient and effective, less waste.
Plus, maintaining a consistent and valuable presence across the right channels significantly enhances your overall brand recognition and recall.
How does that work?
Well, when people see your brand popping up in multiple places online where they spend time, it tends to stick in their minds more effectively. Familiarity builds trust.
Okay, so wider reach, targeted engagement, better visibility. Makes sense. Now, what are some of the potential consequences if you don't effectively utilize these various promotion channels, if you just stick to one thing?
Well, the most immediate consequence is likely to be just limited reach. Pretty straightforward.
Right.
If you rely on just one or two channels for your marketing efforts, you're significantly restricting the potential size of your audience and consequently limiting your overall growth potential. You're fishing in a small pond.
And by neglecting certain online channels, you're very likely missing out on connecting with specific segments of your ideal customers who are highly active on those platforms.
So you're leaving potential customers on the table.
Exactly. They're out there, but you're not where they are.
And ultimately, a lack of a strategic and comprehensive presence across the relevant online spaces will almost certainly lead to lower overall brand awareness and a slower pace of audience growth. You just won't get noticed as much.
Okay, so limited scope, missed audiences, lower awareness. Got it. The book highlights some U.S. companies that really excel at leveraging a variety of promotion channels in a cohesive, integrated way. Coca-Cola, for instance, is a classic example here, too.
Coca-Cola is truly a master of integrated marketing campaigns, aren't they?
They really are. They consistently use a really effective mix of traditional advertising, like television commercials.
Still do that.
Oh, yeah. Alongside strong social media engagement, very targeted online advertising, and valuable content marketing, all reinforcing their core brand message across a multitude of different touch points. It's a really comprehensive and well-coordinated approach. Everything works together.
What's particularly key to their success, do you think?
I think it's the remarkable consistency of their brand messaging and their visual identity across all of these diverse channels. No matter where you encounter Coca-Cola TV, online, in-store, you recognize it instantly. That red and white is iconic.
True. Okay, who else? REI.
REI, the outdoor retailer. They do a fantastic job of engaging with its community of outdoor enthusiasts through a variety of channels.
How so?
They use their informative blog, various active social media platforms, targeted email marketing campaigns, and they even host in-store events and workshops that foster a real sense of community. It's a very holistic approach that connects with their audience in multiple meaningful ways, both online and offline.
Their strategy seems very community-focused.
It is, and they skillfully use different channels to build and nurture strong relationships with their core target audience of outdoor adventurers. It's not just about selling gear, it's about supporting the lifestyle.
And let's also consider Procter & Gamble or P&G. They use a specific type of advertising.
Right, P&G makes very extensive use of programmatic advertising.
Explain programmatic quickly.
It's basically using software and algorithms to buy and place ads online in real time. This sophisticated approach allows them to reach very specific consumer segments across a vast network of websites and platforms based on detailed demographics, online behavior, purchase history, really granular targeting.
That's very efficient.
Extremely efficient. It makes their advertising spend much more effective because they're showing ads primarily to people who are likely to be interested in their products. It's a powerful way to ensure that their advertising messages are seen by the right people at precisely the right time, maximizing the impact of their marketing budget.
Okay, Coke integrates everywhere. REI builds community across channels. P&G uses targeted programmatic ads. Great examples. Now, what are some of the common mistakes that competitors make when it comes to effectively using promotion channels?
Okay, think about a smaller beverage company trying to compete with Coca-Cola, but maybe only focusing on posting organically on social media platforms, just free posts, no ads, without making any real investment in paid advertising or strategically integrating their efforts across different online and offline channels like Coke does.
What's the likely challenge for them?
They'll likely find it very, very challenging to achieve the same level of broad reach and significant brand awareness that Coca-Cola consistently achieves through its comprehensive, multi-channel, well-funded approach. Organic reach just isn't what it used to be.
Right. What about an REI competitor mistake?
Consider an outdoor gear retailer trying to reach the same kind of enthusiasts as REI, but maybe neglecting to build an email list or send out targeted email marketing campaigns.
Why is email still important?
Because they're missing out on a really direct and effective way to nurture potential leads, build relationships over time, and promote their new products and special offers directly to their existing customer base or interested prospects. Email marketing, when it's done thoughtfully and provides value, remains an incredibly effective channel for engagement and sales. Don't sleep on email.
Good point.
Yeah.
And a P&G competitor mistake.
Okay, imagine a consumer goods company running online advertising campaigns, but without implementing any real targeting parameters, just showing their ads to a very broad and often irrelevant audience.
Spray and pray advertising.
Exactly. Unlike P&G's very strategic and data-driven use of programmatic buying, this company is likely wasting a significant portion of their valuable advertising budget on individuals who are highly unlikely to ever become actual customers of their products, just throwing money at the wall.
Okay, the mistakes highlight the need for integration. using direct channels like email and targeting effectively. So how can you, the listener, effectively harness the power of these diverse promotion channels for your own business? Where do you start?
The very first step is to really and truly identify where your specific target audience actually spends the majority of their time online.
How do you figure that out?
Research, surveys, looking at your existing customer data, competitor analysis. Which social media platforms are they most active on? What types of websites do they frequently visit? Are they members of any specific online communities or forums related to your industry? You need to know where they gather.
Okay, find where they are, then.
Then, you need to develop a clear content distribution strategy. This strategy needs to carefully align the content you create with the unique strengths and characteristics of each specific channel you intend to use. Meaning, what resonates well on a visually driven platform like Instagram, beautiful photos, short videos might not be as effective on a more professional networking site like LinkedIn, where maybe longer articles or industry insights work better. Tailor the format to the platform.
It's also crucial to integrate your various online channels to create a seamless and consistent brand experience for your audience.
Right. Your core messaging, your visual branding logo, colors, tone of voice should be instantly recognizable no matter where people happen to encounter you online. Consistency builds recognition and trust.
Aim to utilize a strategic mix of paid, earned, shared, and owned media. Can you break those down?
Sure. Owned media is stuff you control, like your website or blog. Shared media is social media content others share. Earned media is like press coverage or reviews you didn't pay for. And paid media is advertising paying to promote your content or message.
So don't just rely on one type.
Exactly. Don't rely solely on organic reach, owned shared. Consider investing strategically in paid advertising to amplify your key messages and reach a wider audience much faster. And actively encourage your audience to share your valuable content shared to expand your reach organically. Use a mix.
And crucially, always remember to optimize your content for each specific platform you're using.
Yeah, this is important. It might involve resizing images to fit specific dimensions, adjusting the length of your videos to suit the platform's best practices, like shorter for TikTok, maybe longer for YouTube, or tailoring your written language and tone to best resonate with the specific audience on that particular channel. Little tweaks matter.
Can you give an example of business using multiple channels well?
Okay, think about a local restaurant. They might choose to use visually appealing, high-quality photos of their delicious dishes on Instagram to entice people visually.
Food porn.
Totally. Then they might run targeted Facebook advertising campaigns to people living or working within a certain radius of their location, promoting lunch specials or dinner reservations.
Right, geographically targeted.
And they could also send out weekly email newsletters to their subscriber list featuring special offers, highlighting new menu items, or maybe sharing a recipe from the chef. Multiple touch points, different purposes.
Exactly. It's about being strategic, thoughtful, and multifaceted in your approach to reaching your target audience online, using the right channels for the right purpose. Now, let's move on to our sixth key to explosive digital growth, the influencer advantage.
Right. This section really highlights the significant power and, honestly, the far-reaching influence that online content creators and social media influencers hold in today's digital world. And importantly, how your business can strategically tap into that influence.
That's right. In a world where we are constantly bombarded with information, and let's face it, a lot of traditional advertising, people often turn to trusted figures they follow and admire online for authentic recommendations, genuine guidance, and reliable information. We trust people more than logos sometimes.
Definitely. This is precisely where the power of influencers comes into play. The core idea here is to understand the best ways to identify the right influencers for your brand, effectively connect with them, and ultimately collaborate with relevant influencers in your niche to amplify your brand's core message and reach entirely new and often highly engaged audiences.
And the potential benefits of successfully leveraging the power of influencers can be really substantial for you, the listener.
Oh, yeah. First off, authentic recommendations coming directly from trusted influencers can provide a significant boost to your brand's credibility and trustworthiness.
Like a word-of-mouth referral, but amplified.
Exactly. It's almost like getting a valuable stamp of approval from someone whose opinion their audience already highly respects and listens to.
Influencers often cultivate very loyal and highly engaged followers within very specific niches or areas of interest, don't they?
They do. And this allows you, the business, to gain access to very relevant audiences that you might not be able to reach as effectively or efficiently through more traditional advertising methods. It's targeted reach.
And collaborations with the right influencers can also lead to the creation of more authentic and genuinely engaging content.
How so?
Well, influencers are usually experts at knowing how to speak to their specific audience in a way that truly resonates. The content they create often feels much more genuine and relatable than maybe traditional brand-produced marketing material, which can sometimes feel a bit stiff or corporate.
Okay, so credibility boost, niche reach, authentic content. Sounds good. Now, what are some of the potential consequences if you choose not to explore or leverage the influencer advantage? If you just ignore influencers?
Well, you could be missing out on significant opportunities to connect with very specific and highly engaged niche audiences that these influencers have already spent time and effort cultivating and nurturing. You're missing access to pre-built communities.
And your brand might remain relatively unknown or less visible within certain key market segments.
Yeah.
If you're not actively leveraging influencers who already have established authority and strong visibility within those particular areas of interest, they might dominate the conversation in that niche and you're not part of it.
And relying solely on your own brand's marketing efforts can sometimes come across as less genuine or trustworthy compared to a positive mention or an enthusiastic recommendation from a credible third-party influencer. It lacks that social proof.
Right. Okay, the book provides some really prominent and insightful examples of U.S. companies that have successfully leveraged influencer marketing to achieve significant growth. Daniel Wellington, the watch brand, is a really famous one.
Yes, DW watches were everywhere for a while.
Yeah.
Daniel Wellington really built a significant portion of their initial brand awareness and rapid growth through very clever and strategic collaborations with fashion and lifestyle influencers, primarily on Instagram.
What was their tactic?
They often provided influencers with free watches in exchange for posting engaging photos wearing the watch. And this generated massive buzz and brand recognition very, very quickly. It was textbook influencer marketing early on.
It's a really powerful testament to the effectiveness of visually appealing content combined with authentic-seeming recommendations in driving rapid brand growth and reaching a large targeted audience, especially in fashion.
Then there's Sephora, the beauty retailer. They seem to work with influencers constantly.
They do. Sephora regularly and strategically partners with a wide range of beauty influencers on platforms like YouTube and Instagram.
Doing what?
These influencers create detailed product reviews, helpful makeup and skincare tutorials using Sephora products, and various forms of sponsored content. This effectively reaches a vast audience of beauty enthusiasts who trust these creators' opinions.
It's a very effective and efficient way for Sephora to showcase their extensive product range and build trust and credibility with potential customers who really value the opinions of these beauty experts before they buy.
Definitely. And we also have HelloFresh, the popular meal kit delivery service. They use influencers too.
Yes, HelloFresh frequently collaborates with food bloggers and various food-focused influencers.
How does that work for them?
They partner with these creators to develop sponsored recipes using the meal kit ingredients, conduct product reviews, and share their positive experiences with the convenience and taste of the service. This helps to showcase the benefits, convenience, quality, deliciousness of their meal kits to a highly relevant audience of home cooks and busy families.
Partnering with trusted voices in the food and lifestyle space adds a significant layer of credibility and effectively demonstrates the appeal and ease of using their meal kits. Probably better than an ad could.
Okay, Daniel Wellington for buzz, Sephora for expertise, HelloFresh for lifestyle fit. Great examples. Now, what are some of the common mistakes that competitors make when they don't effectively tap into the influencer advantage?
Okay, consider a newer watch brand trying to gain market traction, but completely ignoring the significant potential of partnering with relevant social media creators, unlike the successful strategy Daniel Wellington used.
That's the likely outcome for them.
They might find it very challenging to achieve the same level of rapid brand awareness and crucial social proof that Daniel Wellington was able to generate through its proactive and widespread influencer collaborations. They'll grow much slower.
Or think about a beauty retailer that primarily relies on more traditional forms of advertising, like print ads or maybe television commercials.
Yeah. While completely missing out on the authentic product endorsements and highly targeted reach that Sephora consistently achieves through its strategic influencer partnerships.
And why is that a mistake today?
They might find it increasingly difficult to connect with today's digitally savvy consumers, especially younger ones, who often actively seek out and highly value the opinions and recommendations of trusted online influencers before making purchasing decisions. Traditional ads just don't have the same persuasive power for them.
And finally, imagine a meal kit delivery service that doesn't engage in any collaborations with food bloggers or cooking-focused influencers.
Right. They might struggle to build the same level of trust and effectively showcase the appeal and practicality of their meal kits compared to a company like HelloFresh that strategically leverages those relevant influencer partnerships. People want to see real people using and enjoying the product.
Partnering with established experts and trusted voices in the food community can be a very powerful way to build credibility and attract a loyal customer base in that space. It makes sense. So how can you, the listener, strategically leverage the influencer advantage for your own business? What's the process?
The very first step is to conduct thorough research to identify relevant influencers within your specific niche. Don't just go for big names.
What should you look for?
Look for influencers who have a genuinely engaged audience, not just lots of followers, but actual interaction, comments, discussion, and an audience that closely aligns with your target market. Relevance and engagement are key.
Okay, you found some potential partners. Then what?
Once you have identified potential influencer partners, it's crucial to reach out and communicate with them in a professional yet personal manner. Avoid sending those generic, impersonal mass emails.
Those are terrible.
They are. Instead, take the time to explain why you believe they specifically would be a valuable fit for your brand and what kind of collaboration you envision. Show you've done your homework on them.
Offer compelling and mutually beneficial collaboration opportunities. What does that mean?
It means offering something that provides genuine value to both the influencer and their audience. This could include providing them with free products or services to review honestly, offering opportunities for sponsored content creation where they have creative freedom, or maybe establishing affiliate marketing partnerships where they earn a commission on any sales they generate for your brand through a unique link. Make it worth their while.
And always be transparent about any sponsored content, right? Disclosure is important.
Absolutely essential. Honesty and full disclosure using hashtags like #ad or #sponsored are crucial for building and maintaining trust with both the influencer and their loyal audience. Trying to hide it backfires.
Ensure that you compensate influencers fairly for their time, their effort, and the reach they provide.
Right. Understand their standard rates, they often have media kits, and be prepared to negotiate a mutually agreeable and beneficial arrangement. Don't expect free work, especially from established creators.
And finally, it's essential to track and carefully measure the results of your influencer marketing campaigns. Don't just hope it worked.
Yeah, monitor key metrics like website traffic generated from the influencer's content using trackable links, the number of leads or sales you acquire using promo codes, and overall brand mentions or sentiment online. This helps you determine what's working effectively and optimize your future campaigns accordingly. Learn from each campaign.
Can you give a quick example of smaller scale collaboration?
Sure. A local independent bookstore could strategically partner with a popular local book reviewer on Instagram.
Okay.
They could offer the reviewer a free advance copy of a newly released book in exchange for an honest review post. And maybe they could also provide them with a unique affiliate link or discount code so the reviewer earns a small commission on any sales generated directly through their recommendation. It's trackable and mutually beneficial.
Exactly. It's all about building authentic and mutually beneficial relationships that can significantly expand your brand's reach and enhance its credibility within relevant communities. Now let's move on to our seventh and final key to explosive digital growth, data-driven dominance.
Yes, this is really the crucial final piece of the entire digital marketing puzzle we've been building. This section emphasizes the absolutely vital role of diligently tracking, carefully measuring, and then thoroughly analyzing your various marketing efforts to continuously optimize their performance and ultimately achieve the best possible results for your business. It ties everything together.
That's absolutely right. In today's digital landscape, you have access to an almost overwhelming amount of data, don't you?
Oh yeah, data everywhere. The real key to success lies in understanding how to strategically collect the right data, interpret it correctly, and then effectively use that data to your distinct advantage. Don't drown in data, use it.
The core idea here is that by fully embracing a data-driven approach to your marketing, you can make truly informed decisions, significantly improve your overall return on investment, ROI, on your marketing spend, and continuously refine your strategies and tactics for consistently better outcomes over time.
And the benefits of fully embracing a data-driven mindset are really clear for you, the listener.
Like what specifically?
Well, first, data provides invaluable insights into exactly what's working well in your marketing efforts and, equally importantly, what's not delivering the desired results. This allows you to make strategic choices based on solid facts and evidence, rather than just relying on assumptions or gut feelings. Less guessing, more knowing.
And by diligently analyzing your marketing performance data, you can specifically identify which campaigns and which online channels are consistently delivering the best results for your business.
Right. This empowers you to strategically optimize your spending by investing more resources in those high-performing areas and potentially reducing or eliminating investment in those that aren't yielding significant returns. Put your money where it works best.
And perhaps most importantly for long-term success, meticulously tracking key performance metrics allows for a process of continuous improvement.
How so?
You can identify specific areas where you can make small but significant tweaks to your approach, your ad copy, your landing pages, your email timing, and constantly strive for even better results over time. It's about incremental gains.
Okay. Informed decisions, better ROI, continuous improvement, great benefits. Now, what are some of the potential negative consequences if you choose not to embrace a data-driven approach to your digital marketing, if you ignore the numbers?
Well, your marketing decisions will inevitably become based on guesswork and assumptions rather than concrete facts, which, as we said, almost always leads to inefficiencies, wasted resources, and missed opportunities for growth. You're basically gambling.
And you run a significant risk of wasting a considerable portion of your valuable marketing budget.
Yeah.
By continuing to invest in campaigns or specific online channels that simply aren't performing well or reaching your target audience effectively, this can lead to substantial financial losses over time, especially for smaller businesses.
And without diligently analyzing your marketing results, you're essentially missing out on crucial opportunities to truly understand what resonates most effectively with your target audience.
Right. And you can't optimize your overall efforts for sustained growth. You could easily find yourself stuck in a rut, just repeating ineffective strategies without even realizing it because you're not looking at the data.
Okay, guesswork, wasted budget, stagnant growth, all bad. The book highlights some really prominent U.S. companies that are widely recognized as being masters of effectively using data to drive their success. Google, perhaps unsurprisingly, is a prime example.
Right. Google heavily and consistently relies on the vast amounts of data it collects, particularly through tools like Google Analytics, to gain deep insights into user behavior on websites, to evaluate the overall performance of their own platform, like search results, and to meticulously assess the effectiveness of their various advertising campaigns. They live and breathe data.
They're in a constant state of analyzing data to optimize their existing products and develop new and innovative services. Data drives everything there.
Then there's Amazon, which we mentioned earlier, for personalization. But they also have cultivated a very strong and deeply ingrained culture of A/B testing.
Explain A/B testing again quickly.
It's basically running experiments where you show two different versions of something, say a web page headline or a button color, to different segments of your audience simultaneously to see which one performs better against a specific goal, like clicks or purchases.
And Amazon does this constantly.
Constantly. They are always running experiments on various aspects of their website, their product pages, their marketing materials, rigorously testing different versions to determine precisely what drives the best results. From optimizing product page layouts to crafting more effective email subject lines, they test everything.
Their unwavering commitment to data-driven experimentation is widely recognized as a key factor in their continuous improvement and their consistently high conversion rates across their massive online platform. They never assume they know best. They test.
Very smart. And we also have Netflix again. How do they use data beyond recommendations?
Well, Netflix famously uses the vast amounts of viewer data. It collects what people watch when they stop watching, what they binge, to inform its critical decisions about which television shows and movies to invest in producing, and which existing content to acquire for its streaming library.
So data drives their content strategy.
Massively. This intensely data-informed content strategy helps them to maximize audience engagement and drive continuous subscriber growth, because they have a better idea of what people will actually watch before they spend millions making it.
It really clearly demonstrates how even seemingly creative decisions, like what content to produce, can be significantly and effectively guided by insightful data analysis. It's not just gut instinct.
Okay, Google analyzes everything, Amazon tests everything, Netflix uses data for content decisions. Powerful stuff. Now, what are some of the common mistakes that competitors make when they don't embrace a data-driven approach?
Okay, think about a business that doesn't even bother to track its basic website traffic using something like Google Analytics, doesn't understand user behavior on its site, doesn't monitor its conversion rates. Much unlike Google's meticulous approach, they're essentially flying completely blind. They're missing out on vital and readily available insights into how potential customers are actually interacting with their online presence.
Which makes improvement impossible.
Pretty much. It makes it virtually impossible to identify key areas for crucial improvement and to optimize their website and marketing for better overall performance.
Okay, what about an Amazon competitor mistake?
Consider an e-commerce business that doesn't conduct any form of A/B testing on its product pages, its shopping cart, or its checkout process. They just build it once and assume it's perfect. Unlike Amazon's constant experimentation,
And the risk there.
they could be unknowingly missing out on significant opportunities to dramatically improve their conversion rates and ultimately increase their online sales. Even seemingly small changes to website elements, a button text, an image, when based on solid data from A/B testing, can often lead to surprisingly large improvements in overall business outcomes. They're leaving money on the table.
And a Netflix competitor mistake.
Finally, imagine a streaming service that makes its decisions about what content to produce and acquire purely based on gut feeling, or maybe just anecdotal evidence from a few executives.
Yeah.
Without systematically analyzing any of its valuable viewer data, much unlike Netflix's data-informed strategy, they run a significant risk of investing heavily in content that doesn't actually resonate with their target audience.
It leads to.
Potentially lower subscriber engagement, higher rates of churn, people canceling, and wasted production budgets. In today's data-rich environment, relying solely on intuition and ignoring the valuable insights that data can provide puts businesses at a significant competitive disadvantage.
Okay, the message is loud and clear.
Yeah.
Use data. So
Yeah.
how can you, the listener, begin to embrace a culture of data-driven dominance for your own business? What are the first steps?
The very first step is to implement robust tracking tools. Google Analytics is a very popular and powerful free option to start with.
What does it track?
It helps you closely monitor your website traffic, understand user engagement patterns like how long people stay, what pages they visit, and track your key conversion metrics like form submissions or purchases. Make absolutely sure that you are actually collecting the data you need to gain valuable insights. Set it up correctly.
Okay, get the tools running. Then what?
Then it's crucial to clearly define the specific key metrics, those KPIs again, that are most relevant to your unique marketing goals. What are the numbers that will truly tell you whether you are succeeding in reaching your objectives? Don't track everything. Track what matters.
Make it a regular practice to thoroughly analyze your collected data. Don't just let it sit there.
Right. Look for important trends, recurring patterns, and key areas where you can strategically make improvements to your marketing efforts. Don't just passively collect the data, actively look at it. Try to truly understand what it is telling you about your audience and your campaigns. Schedule time for analysis.
Embrace the power of A/B testing whenever possible, even on a small scale.
Yeah. Experiment with comparing different versions of your website elements, your ad copy, your calls to action, or even your email subject lines to definitively determine what resonates most effectively with your audience and consistently delivers the best results for your goals. Test, learn, iterate.
And finally, make a conscious effort to consistently use your data to inform your strategic decisions about everything,
Like what?
from the specific types of content you create, to the online channels you choose to focus on, to the precise targeting of your advertising campaigns. Let the objective numbers guide your overall marketing strategy, not just your gut feelings.
Can you give a final example of using beta?
Sure. By carefully analyzing your website traffic data, you might discover that a particular social media platform, say LinkedIn, is consistently driving a significant number of highly qualified leads to your website, people who actually fill out your contact form. This valuable insight would then prompt you to strategically invest more of your time and resources in developing a stronger presence and running more targeted campaigns, specifically on LinkedIn, because the data shows it's working for your business and your goals.
Exactly. It's all about strategically using data to make smarter, more informed, and ultimately more effective marketing decisions that drive real growth for your business. It closes the loop.
So to quickly recap our deep dive into digital marketing all-in-one for dummies, we've explored the 7 key secrets to achieving explosive digital growth.
Right. Those essential principles are crafting your winning digital strategy,
The map.
mastering the customer connection,
Know your audience.
recognizing the power of perfect content,
Values key.
effectively reaching the influential generation,
Connect with millennials. and beyond.
Strategically harnessing the power of promotion channels,
Be where they are.
leveraging the influencer advantage,
Credibility and reach.
and finally, embracing data-driven dominance.
Measure and improve. And by thoughtfully implementing these fundamental principles, you, our listener, can make significant progress, moving from feeling potentially overwhelmed by all the options in digital marketing
Which is easy to feel.
to having a clear, effective, and data-backed path to achieving meaningful and sustainable digital success for your business.
It's really about being strategic in your planning, deeply understanding your target audience, consistently providing real value through your content, effectively reaching the right people in the right online places, and always being committed to continuous learning and improvement based on the insights that your data provides.
The digital landscape is, well, it's a constantly shifting and evolving one, isn't it?
Always changing. While these 7 key secrets provide a really strong and essential foundation for your efforts, it's crucial to always remember that continuous learning, ongoing experimentation, and a real willingness to adapt to new trends and technologies are absolutely crucial for achieving long-term success in the digital realm.
So this isn't the end of the story.
Definitely not. There is always more to explore and discover beyond this initial deep dive. Keep learning.
Absolutely. Stay curious, keep experimenting with new ideas, and fully embrace the ongoing journey of learning and growth in the dynamic world of digital marketing.
Until our next deep dive together.
You know that feeling when you're trying a new recipe and you just start, like, throwing ingredients in, hoping it turns out?
Yeah, I do.
That's what digital marketing can feel like sometimes,
Yeah.
right? A bit chaotic.
Definitely. Guesswork mostly.
But what if you had a clear, step-by-step guide to actually see some, real growth online?
Well, that's exactly what we're trying to focus on for you today.
Yeah.
You're looking for a way